I'm out front of the Parliament buildings center block here in Ottawa. I've had a productive set of meetings with the Prime Minister, with Minister LeBlanc, and other senior cabinet ministers, including the Finance Minister, talking about the remarkable opportunities that BC brings to the table in terms of a country that is ready to get going, particularly private sector projects that reflect billions of dollars of investment, but more importantly for families, high-paying jobs, and for Canadians, growth in our economy that will support all Canadians. The message has been well received. We've had a lot of good discussions, and I look forward to hearing your questions.
Wolf, please unmute yourself and go ahead.
Sorry about that. Good afternoon. Thank you for taking my question. Premier, I was hoping that you could sort of elaborate on your comments earlier regarding BC ferries. You called some of the issues or some of the comments around the loan as bizarre. And I was hoping that you could sort of comment on your meeting today with the new transport minister regarding BC ferries and the loan. What, if any, changes do you expect in terms of Ottawa's attitude toward the loan, as well as the use of Chinese shipyards to build the BC ferry, these 4 new vessels? Thank you.
Thanks, Wolf. Well, I'll start with where we're on the same page. We're on the same page with the federal government that we need to build shipbuilding capacity in the country. There's a big opportunity to be able to do that, including in British Columbia. We're excited about that. We're on side for that. Where we're at odds is the differential treatment of British Columbians when they ride the ferry versus other Canadians out east when they ride their ferries. So when you ride the ferry in Eastern Canada, you're subsidized by $300 federal per ferry user. In BC, you're subsidized by $1 per ferry user. Out east, the federal government paid for the entirety of the cost of the ferry that was purchased by the Maritime Ferry Authority, and when built in a Chinese shipyard, by the way. And when you're out west, the federal government offered a lower interest loan for our ferries. And now there's some unhappiness among the Conservatives that even that was offered to British Columbia. Well, my message has been one of basic fairness. British Columbians need to be treated fairly. If Eastern ferrygoers get their ferries paid for, so should we. If Eastern ferrygoers get $300 in subsidy, you know what? $50 per ferry user in BC would go a long way for a lot of families and businesses. And so asking for that fairness has been a core part of the message. And unfortunately, something that's been lost a bit in the conversation here. It's not a surprise to me that the BC Conservatives don't care about ferry users, but I'm hopeful that here in Ottawa, I'll be able to get some attention for support for ferry users in British Columbia.
Richard, go ahead.
Premier, thanks for doing this. I hope you've had a chance to get some shawarma. There is a new report out today showing that there's been an increase in the number of British Columbians going to emergency rooms and leaving before getting care because of long waits. Is it acceptable to you that we are seeing British Columbians have to leave emergency rooms because the waits are so long? And just quickly, if you could, did you bring up with the Prime Minister or anyone else the idea of bail reform, especially when it comes to those repeat chronic offenders, not linked to violent crime, but linked to what we describe as petty crime?
Yeah, thanks, Richard. On the question about hospitals, when you go to a hospital, you're in urgent need of medical care. You deserve to get that care regardless of where you are in the province. Hospitals are busy places in British Columbia. We have an aging population. People need more intensive care. And so they do triage cases. The most serious cases are taken first and less serious cases taken second. What we're trying to do is give British Columbians opportunities to get the care they need outside of the emergency room when it's a less serious issue. Some people just don't have the choice. So connecting people with family doctors, urgent primary care centers across the province. We're connecting hundreds of people every day to family doctors across the province. We're going to continue to do that work. And we have a goal of having every British Columbian connected. And in the meantime, pharmacists being able to support people with more minor ailments like urinary tract infections, minor skin irritations, and other issues. If you're desperate enough, you will go to the emergency room. We're trying to give people other options so that the emergency rooms are only dealing with the most urgent issues. On the question of bail reform, yes, I met with the public safety minister, and I also raised the issue of public safety with both the Prime Minister and with the Finance Minister. This is a significant issue for Canadians, and I'm glad to hear it's being taken seriously by the federal government. I've been reassured by them that they are doing the work not just on the bail reform piece that we want to see about repeat chronic offenders in our system that cause an outsized amount of chaos that need to be held behind bars, but also in relation to intimate partner violence, men who beat up women, men who kill women, that they are in relationships with, that will be treated with the seriousness that it deserves. I'm glad the federal government is looking at moving on this, and all I can say is for Bailey McCourt and for other families in our province that are affected by this, it can't come soon enough.
Rob Shaw.
Oh, hey, Premier. We only got one question, so mine has 7 parts. I'm going to start with Section 2, subsection G. Can I ask about temporary foreign workers? You've had a chance to meet with the Prime Minister now on this. You said you wanted significant reforms or it being canceled. After talking to him, do you think you'll get the significant reforms you're looking for? And is canceling it still something you will say out loud as a request if you don't get it?
Yeah, this is a program that needs to be reformed or replaced, and I was completely clear about that, both in my conversations with the Prime Minister as well as with the Immigration Minister when I met with her today. Here is a program where we have people in British Columbia that are being exploited, that are being abused. We have people that are buying and selling the license to be able to bring in a temporary foreign worker and making significant money from it. These issues need to be dealt with. And I was reassured by both the Prime Minister and the Immigration Minister that they would take steps to deal with these issues. The other issue, and related, is around the provincial nominee program. I came here with a healthcare worker that was on a temporary stream in our provincial nominee program to be able to work in our healthcare system, a medical transcriptionist. She is looking at being deported back to India because the number of citizenship slots that we can offer has been cut in half by the federal government under the previous administration. So asking the Prime Minister and the Immigration Minister to immediately reinstate our ability to keep these workers in Canada. There are 800 healthcare workers that are in this position. Harjinder is just one. And we need to be able to keep those workers. This is also what's impacting us on the Sunshine Coast in relation to daycare. We need this support from the federal government to be able to offer citizenship to those people who are coming to our province, coming to our country, wanting to build a better life here. And we need them to be able to deliver the services that people need. We don't need people exploited. We don't need people to be mistreated. And we certainly don't need corruption and fraud in the system. And so I'm looking forward to significant change, and I'm hopeful to see it.
Alex Lazenby.
Hi, Premier. I just wanted to ask, have you been able to speak to the Prime Minister or anyone else about the North Coast transmission line? I know that LNG Canada Phase 2 was part of the major projects that the Prime Minister announced. But what about the North Coast transmission line? Have you talked about that at all? Is there any federal help coming for that? And also, are you still hopeful that, you can have all of these LNG projects run off clean electricity, especially given some of the shortages that we're facing in clean power in BC right now?
Thanks, Alex. I had a very positive meeting with the Energy Minister. We met for about an hour, talking about the opportunities that are in front of our province and the role the federal government can play in this. And a significant part of the conversation was about the North Coast transmission line and the 11 different lines that will be enabled in Tahltan territory and neighboring First Nations territory in the Northwest if we're able to have a strong federal partner on that project. A key part of our economic development plan for the province, creating jobs for families in every corner of the province, includes clean electrical generation, low carbon energy, zero carbon energy, as a matter of fact, in British Columbia, and getting that to sites like mines, to LNG sites and others to reduce emissions so that our products are the lowest carbon products in the world. And we're able to assist our partners who are buying from us in reducing their emissions at home, so they don't have to buy from high carbon producers in other places. It's a critical priority for us that our economic development as a province, that the opportunity we create is connected to the values of British Columbia, values of Canadians, that climate change is real, that we want to lift people out of poverty and give them opportunity. And that's what this project reflects. It also includes significant amount of land protection, wild spaces, that are of particular importance to the Tall Tan and to all British Columbians. So we're really excited about the project. I've been working across government to talk about it. The fact that the Red Chris mine is one of those 11 mines, and it was on the list. And the comments of the Prime Minister when announcing that reflect that the federal government is taking that seriously, and that's certainly been my experience here today.
Katie DeRosa.
Premier, the federal Conservatives, Frank Caputo, are calling for changes to intimate partner violence, which include a new offense of assault on an intimate partner and a call to make intimate partner violence, a murder, an automatic first-degree murder. Do you agree with those changes? And if not, what changes would you like to see?
Yeah, I haven't seen their proposal, but we have been pushing with Bailey McCourt's family, with other survivors of intimate partner violence, with organizations that serve women who are fleeing intimate partner violence, to advocate for changes that are needed here at the federal level. My understanding is from the conversation I've had that the federal government understands that, they're taking it seriously, and that we should expect to see reform in that area. So I'm certainly glad to know that it's a nonpartisan issue, if that's in fact the case, and we can all push forward in ensuring that people are protected right across this country.
Rob Buffum.
Well, hi. I wanted to get clarity on, you've made comments that, in relation to the deficit, there's 850 public service workers, full-time workers who've been eliminated, and indicated that more would come. I just wanted to confirm, can you provide clarity? There will indeed be more public servants who are out of a job?
Well, one of the realities that we face is we need to make sure that we're delivering services as efficiently as possible. When you have a significant deficit, there are two choices that you face. One is cuts to frontline services, and the other is to grow the economy to help provide the support that the budget requires, so that we can deliver services to British Columbians. We are cutting waste from across the system, making sure that resources going into administration or management or other kinds of things are not taking away from those frontline services for British Columbians. We're going to protect those frontline services for British Columbians. And at the same time, I'm here in Ottawa. We're working hard to grow the economy. We had a huge announcement around Highland Valley Copper, expansion of that mine, thousands of jobs, billions of dollars for the economy. The Salisms LNG project advanced by the NISCA through the environmental assessment process. 40% of the projects on the federal major project list are BC private sector projects, and we've attracted the largest company in the history of the province to choose to locate in British Columbia, a huge mining company that will provide jobs and opportunity at our status as a world-class mining hub. We've got more to do, but it's not cutting services for British Columbians. We're not going to raise taxes on people. We're going to focus on growing the economy and getting rid of waste.
Mark Page.
Yes, good afternoon, Premier. Looking forward to next week. We have the UBC meetings here in Victoria. What is the number one thing that you think that local governments need to address, and why?
The number one issue facing local governments is one that I've raised here federally. It's infrastructure. When you're a local government official and you're facing unglamorous issues like sewage management, water, electrical service, roads, sidewalks, it's hard to even think about things like parks and community centers and the vital things that make life worth living in communities. And so that's one of the messages I'm bringing here federally is as I meet with the housing minister coming up, is that BC needs to see that infrastructure money flowing, because we're certainly doing our part in building new housing and in opening up our market to be able to build more housing. But we need that federal support on infrastructure. And I'm sure that'll be a big part of the conversation with local governments. Their concerns, their need to keep up with the growth that we've seen in British Columbia, that the infrastructure is there to support the number of people who now call British Columbia home.
Andrew McLeod.
Yeah, hi, Premier. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, back in April, you directed the government to cancel American contracts wherever viable. I'm hoping to get an update on that, whether there are any specific examples, and what, how satisfied are you with how that's gone?
Yeah, we've had some positive developments out of that. I talked with a provider of medical equipment that's located in British Columbia that's benefited from our announcement and direction to health authorities in that regard, employing people here in the province. Happy to provide you with additional examples following the press conference through staff. I don't think that we're quite there yet in terms of all the compliance we hope to see. Government is a big beast, and we're encouraging people to continue to review with two lenses. One is to encourage them to buy Canadian and British Columbian, and the other is to make sure that we're preferring Canadian and other trading partners to American going forward. And the other lens is to make sure that we're driving efficiency across government and controlling costs right now as our budget's under strain.
Emily Joveski, Vista Radio.
Hi, thanks for taking my question. We had the announcement from Minister Krieger yesterday on the new South Asian Extortion Task Force. Are you still pushing for the Lawrence Bishnoi gang to be declared a terrorist group? And what discussions have you had on that issue so far in Ottawa?
Yes, I have raised two issues related to this with the Public Safety Minister and the Prime Minister. The first is advocating for the Bishnoi group to be labeled a terrorist organization, and for any other groups that are involved in this activity to also be listed. I was reassured that that request has been taken seriously, that they're doing work on it, and expect to have an answer for us soon, which I certainly look forward to, and I know the residents south of Fraser do as well. The second is I've really been encouraging the federal government to look at RICO legislation, the American law that criminalizes activity where you're assisting or moving forward a criminal organization or operation. And we don't have any comparable legislation here in Canada. It's one of the big challenges we ran into in the money laundering prosecution. We had people moving money around, but the police couldn't prove that they knew it was the product of any particular crime. We need a better legislation to go after how gangs are truly operating. And I know that isn't just a BC issue, it's an issue in Ontario and Quebec and other parts of the country. And so encouraging them to be a little bit more creative and looking at how we can go after gang crime using the criminal code. And we'll do the same at the provincial level as well.
And this will be the last question. Jeremy Hainsworth, BC Today. Go ahead, Jeremy, unmute yourself and ask your question when you have a moment.
Sorry about that. Here I am. Finance critic Gavin Dew today is quoting new stats from the Canadian Federation of Independent Businesses, saying that independent business confidence in the BC economy is sitting at 42.6%. Meanwhile, EI stats jumped in July quite dramatically, and you said employers are preparing for layoffs. How do you comment on the gelling of those two issues?
Yeah, Jeremy, I was glad to note in the study that long-term confidence is ticking up for businesses in British Columbia. There's no question that BC has seen major impacts from the tariff war. First of all, we bore a disproportionate impact from the retaliation that the federal government engaged in with the US government because we're dependent on imports more so than Central or Eastern Canada for certain key inputs into our economy. Those tariffs hurt businesses here more than other places. The second was interest rates being high, causing families to renew mortgages, having less money available to go out for lunch or dinner, impacting our hospitality sector. And the last piece, the decimation of the tariff increase to our softwood lumber sector, which impacts businesses across the country that service the timber industry, but also that are directly involved in timber production themselves. These are big, big challenges that we face in British Columbia. But the good news is, and what we can see and what I think businesses are seeing in terms of their long-term confidence, is that we are advancing major projects that are going to support jobs in every corner of this province, that are going to assist us to be more independent of the US and respond to the challenges that we're seeing. Interest rates are coming down, which will help many families that that have significant mortgages in our province. And we're going to continue to work to support families and businesses as they face this really challenging time. And as we build a new economy with the federal government, I think that in terms of where BC is with the challenges we face, we're in a much better position than some other provinces. And we're going to have to advance these projects in order to do not just our part for our province and for families in our province and businesses in our province, but also for all Canadians. And that's what we're going to do.